What's up, FHS? My name is Riker Jones.
And I'm Chris Orr.
We hope you have a great Thursday. It's 62 degrees out right now, and I think we can throw out our jackets for today.
Sounds like a plan to me. We've got a great show for you today, starting with a look into the past of FHS, a deep dive into our art teacher, Mr. Lamb, and a look at our library's most popular books.
All of this and more on BKTV Live.
Have you ever wanted to know more about FHS's past?
It's been on my mind before, but now we'll get the full picture. Rocky and Jax talk with a few prominent people in the community. Take it away, Rocky.
John Cozine is a staple of the community from running his family funeral home, which has been around for years. He's been documenting Farmington's history for many years and attends many games. He's an old graduate of FHS. He had a passion for journalism and talks about his earliest memories of the school.
When I was really a small boy, I'd say maybe 3 or 4, back in those days, the WPA in the 30s had gone around the country, and they went to different towns and would build nice facilities. And they just put in out by the ballpark a new tennis court. And so tennis had become very popular. It's the nicest tennis court around. And so I remember my uncle, who I think was a senior at the time, Uncle Jack, took me, I was a little toddler, to watch one of the games. And back then, a lot of people turned out to see tennis games. And it was exciting for me to be with all those high schoolers. So that's my first really contact with Farmington High School.
Dr. Reeves is another important person here at FHS. He participates in many roles here. His teaching and contributions have students and staff praising his efforts.
I have been working here since 1999, and I've had a variety of functions over this time. I have been a social studies teacher in a whole full-time or part-time for the entirety of that time. I've been a dual credit advisor in 2 different stints. I have been varsity Scholar Bowl coach. I have been ACES or WISE academic coach as well. So I helped develop the Latin Honors program with a few other faculty leaders here. Well, one of the big changes has been the introduction of electronics. I mean, sometimes if you walk around in the older parts of the school, you'll see clips on doors, and that's because that's how we used to take attendance. One of the things that I think that are good about what we're doing here at FHS is I think there is an emphasis on trying to, at least get people thinking a bit more about what they're doing afterwards, both with college things, but also with career. I know that there are a few things that are in the works here that hopefully will move students toward a pathway for career readiness or a pathway for college readiness. Because at the end of the day, you either have to go to further schooling or get a good job. One of the things that I think that's pretty cool is that it's not a big deal whatsoever to anyone that I know of here, but, up until Dr. Lamons became principal here, every head principal had been a male. And, she's been here in this role. She's been at FHS for a long time, but first as a classroom teacher and then dean of students and then assistant principal. But nobody makes a big deal that we have a female leader, in part because she's done a really good job. But also I think that says something about our school and society that now it doesn't matter if you're male or female, it just matters if you can do the job.
Farmington High School has been an amazing stepping stone for students throughout history. This has been Jack Sluter
and Rocky Killian
signing off from BKTV.
Looking back at our school's past and the people involved gives me a whole new perspective on our school district.
Thanks, Mr. Cozine, Dr. Reeves, Rocky Killian, and Jack Sluter.
FHS's Advanced Art program is taught by Mr. Lamb, who's been teaching art classes since 1996. Grace Yates gives us some insight on Dr. Lamb's career as well as his plans for his retirement.
Coach Lamb is one of our art teachers here at FHS. He's been here for 28 years.
I've been teaching at Farmington High School since 1996, so this is my 28th year here at this high school. Various teachers throughout the years, had a lot of good art teachers. Probably the best teacher I ever had was Helen McDaniel. She was my 4th grade teacher.
Coach Lamb is the inspiration for many students who are wanting to do many art projects, and he grows a bond with them.
A lot of kids, big numbers, and getting to see a lot of people throughout the years, making a lot of friends.
He grades his classes by making their days, from telling them jokes, his dad jokes to be exact, before he starts his class.
The relationships with the kids, getting to see them every day and telling them my infamous dad jokes. College art history, that's my favorite.
Coach Lamb's fun energy will bring a smile on his students' faces every day, and he will bring a smile on your face too when you join his classes, such as Intro to Art to his advanced classes. This has been Grace Yates, reporting for BKTV.
Thank you, Mr. Lamb, for being an inspiration to all of our students interested in art and to enjoy the creative process.
Now we shift our focus to our global and national news segment called Stuff That Matters.
With a sudden 33% increase in book bans nationally over the past year, the famous artist Pink announced on an Instagram Live this past Sunday that she would be handing out over 2,000 banned books to fans during her upcoming tour. Alicia Moore, or better known by her stage name Pink, stated during her live that she is unwilling to stand by and watch books get banned by schools. During her concert, she will be handing out 4 books. These books are The Family Book by Todd Parr, The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman, Beloved by Toni Morrison, and The Girls Who Code by Reshma Saujani. These books involve topics such as sexual identity and racial injustice and are all written by people from the LGBTQ+ community, as well as people of color. Many of her fans are looking forward to this movement as a way to protest against these bans and allow for these topics to be freely discussed in schools.
In other global news, Nepal's government has decided to officially ban TikTok from all users in the country this past Monday, stating that the app disrupts the country's social structures. Nepal has now joined this official national ban with 2 other countries, India and Afghanistan. While TikTok is completely banned in these 3 countries, many others have banned the use of TikTok on phones that are used by government workers due to many controversies the app has had in the past. These countries include the United States, Great Britain, New Zealand, and many others. As of right now, both the ruling party as well as the opposing party have decided that the ban is for the best of all Nepali citizens.
With our latest news on the Israeli-Hamas war, President Joe Biden stated in a speech this past Tuesday that he has high spirits about working out in a hostage negotiation with those being held captive by Hamas, the Palestinian militia. The hostage release involves a trade between Israelis' prisoners who are held by Palestine and Hamas releasing roughly 100 American hostages. The negotiation is still to be finalized, but Joe Biden assured the family of those involved to hang in there and that they would be coming to retrieve the hostages shortly.
Moving into some more lighthearted, but still terrifying news nonetheless, the airline company, UK Airlines, had a plane take off with 4 broken window panes, with 2 of the 4 being completely missing. The worst part about it is that no one even noticed until they were 13,000 feet in the air. Passengers complained that the plane felt colder and noisier than what they were used to, and it was only until a flight attendant checked the back of the plane and spotted the broken windows. The plane stopped its ascent at 14,000 feet in the air and began to make its way back to where they took it off from and landed safely 40 minutes after the plane had turned around.
I'd be scared that I'd get sucked right out of the plane. Wouldn't you too, Chris?
Of course I would be. That's why I steal the pilot's emergency parachute just in case.
Now moving back into our segments.
Hey, have you seen the new books at the library?
Not yet, but which books are most popular among our students?
Libby Abel walks us through the most popular books at the library with Mrs. Scott. Take it away, Libby.
The FHS library has a wide selection of books that students can check out, but some of the most popular are the most checked out.
I actually grabbed a little selection of some of the books that are most checked out here in the library. Pretty much any book by Kwame Alexander, students love him. He does a lot of novel and verse, so students really like that. This has been a pretty, this was a gateway book a couple of years ago, The Inheritance Games. It's a series. It's been super popular this year. I have not got to read it yet, but I am looking forward to it. Colleen Hoover has been a huge one. I I don't have all of her books in the library, but the ones that are young adult and appropriate for this library are in here, and students, they really like to check those out. Alan Gratz is, we have a ton of his books, and boys and girls alike love to check out his books. So they're like kind of historical fiction based, and so they're pretty good. A couple of mysteries. Ruthless has been, it was a gateway a couple years back, still goes off the shelf pretty quickly. And any April Henry book. She has a lot of good books as well. A couple of our fantasy series, Red Queen is one that goes pretty quickly, and then Scythe. Students really seem to like those. And then some of our just are good, like just kind of classics like Nicholas Sparks. I know he's kind of an older writer, but students still like to check out those books as well. I mean, I have read probably, I've read 4 of the books in this particular column. This was the first Nicholas Sparks book I ever read, A Walk to Remember. But I mean, you know, a lot of, they're good, you know, like I love being able to have conversations with students about the books that I've read or what I'm currently reading, and like what they are interested in reading too.
Miss Scott isn't surprised that certain books become popular because of some contributing factors.
It's interesting, like you never know like what sparks an interest. Again, it could be that there's an upcoming movie, or it's mentioned somewhere, like it could be mentioned on TikTok, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to read it. So I don't care what it is, as long as students are picking up books and reading, that's really all I care about.
Miss Scott then talks about what books are read.
All of them. They all have good stories in them. We have a lot. I'm really proud of the collection of books that we have here. I'm always, you know, I'm actually in the middle of getting ready to purchase more books, so that's always exciting for me. I mean, I know I have students come in and they're like, hey, do you have any new books? So whenever we get to do that, I love being able to offer that to students. So yeah, increasing the number of books is my goal, is one of my goals this year. So I'm excited to see what we can get.
This has been Libby Abel reporting for BKTV Live.
Thank you, Miss Scott and Libby Abel, for showing us what the library has to offer.
Great job, guys. Well, that's all we have for today. For now, this has been
Riker Jones
and Chris Orr on
BKTV Live.
Students have a name, it's good. They're